Warning: this episode contains content regarding sexual violence that may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. What's up? You are now listening to Americanized, a storytelling podcast where you'll hear from eclectic first and second generation Americans share their stories and real life experiences as children of immigrants. Welcome to 2022. I'm your host, Rosin Clario, and I'm back with another episode. This is a new episode, a special Across Borders, featuring Moran, who is a woman living in Dublin, Ireland from Israel. And she is the CEO and founder of the I Want Out project, which was inspired by her journey of rediscovering her true self 10 years after her history of prostitution. Her ultimate goal is to help other women who were in similar situations as her exit prostitution and other aspects of the sex work industry. To find out more about Moran's I Want Out project, be sure to check out her Instagram, which will be linked in the episode notes. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm glad to meet you and to have this conversation. It sounds like it's going to be a really heavy topic, but I feel like because it's so heavy, and that means it's so important to discuss and to share. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do, where your passions lie, and who you are.
All right. My name is Moran, and I live in Dublin currently, but originally I'm from Israel. And I'm the founder of I Want Out. I Want Out is a project that I'm working on in the past 2 years, almost 2 years, which I'm trying to reach out as many women as I can that in the trade industry, strippers, prostitutes, that actually wants to get out and don't know where to start. My goal is to share my own experience, my strength, and my hope that it is possible, that prostitution is not normal and it should be eliminated from this world that we're currently, into almost 2022, and it's still, unfortunately, everywhere. Now, I'm working on a few projects at the same time, and I hope that we can discuss about some of them in this interview. And yeah, what else? I'm a mom. I have twins, boys, almost 4 years old. I also have a 9-to-5 job. I work in high-tech company. Yeah, that's about it. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's lovely. It sounds like the work you're doing is something you're really passionate about, something you can relate to. And I wanted to ask you, with the I Want Out, your project, how did you get started into it and why?
Yeah, so I Want Out started at the beginning of the pandemic. I want to say, first of all, thank you for inviting me here. I know this is a huge opportunity for me to get the message out there. So thank you for inviting me. And actually, it started from a personal crisis at the beginning, at the beginning of the pandemic. So I got to a point when I experienced some kind of, I got to a rock bottom in my own life. My relationship didn't quite work out, my marriage. And I felt that I was in a really, really not a good place emotionally and spiritually. The kids were at home. I was working full-time from home. I had a YouTube channel that was all about beauty and makeup because I'm also a professional makeup artist, although I don't work at it, but it was a passion. It is a passion of mine till today, but it was not quite, I felt that it was not quite right. I didn't feel that I was living the life that I'm supposed to live. And it was just not that, you know? And I started searching, and I got to the world of personal development, and I took courses online, and I was searching for my own meaning in life. Although I had a good job, and you know, like everything was like okay, but everything was really not okay in with me myself. So I took a course with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi. It's the KBB of the knowledge business blueprint. I don't know if you heard about it. Is a way to an understanding of what is it that I can offer the world as a human being who experienced so much in my life. I experienced so much, but I didn't have like the proper education. I didn't go to college or university. So I didn't know like what is the service that I can give the world. And that's how my journey started. And it took me a while to accept the truth of me being an ex-prostitute, of me exiting prostitution, because I exited prostitution over a decade ago. Like I put this chapter behind me. And, you know, I never talked about it. I never, you know, my job, my work, you know, my family, it was something that I put behind me. At the beginning, I started writing, you know, I started asking myself some big questions about life, about my values, about who I am, what I want my life to be, what I want my kids to learn through me as a mom, but not just as a mom, as a woman, as a human being, what message I want them to get. So when I started going back and thinking about my old life, I was like, oh, really? Like, is that the message? And I had a lot of fears. I think one of the biggest fears was just that, you know, what will people think about me? You know, I was afraid of being judged. But again, I did my journey of rediscover and rediscover my own strength. And I think in a way, in a deep spiritual way, rediscover who I really am. Not what my society think of me, not what my parents think of me, what I showed to the world. Like, who am I really within me, the true Moran? And I found out that I'm a very vulnerable person. I experienced a lot of trauma in my life, but I was covering it up with a lot of, you know, layers of protection that I thought was healthy. And it was all right till I got to that point when everything was not all right anymore. And then I started opening myself up and opening my soul. And yeah, and through this course and through this big question that I asked myself, I realized that this is my message, because this is my truly deep knowledge that I gained from my own experience in life, that I can actually help other women that were in those places that I was, that asked the question that I used to ask and I didn't have the answer, but that now I have the answers to those questions. So that's how it started, just from a really, really authentic, deepest place of revealing the truth about myself.
Right. Rediscovering yourself through these courses and asking yourself these big questions and really finding like who you are deep inside, and despite what society thinks of you, your parents think of you. And so on this journey to rediscovering yourself, what were some of the challenges you came across?
Insecurities. I'm not strong enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the connection. I don't have the finance. I don't know where to start. I never spoken in public about this topic.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about this topic in a very, very small, very specific groups. Like, I didn't go out and spoke about it in social media, in interviews, because when I came out, when I exit, it was 2011, and I think 2 years after that I was clean. I was also using drugs and alcohol. And when I was clean for 2 years, out of prostitution, out of strip clubs, out of this lifestyle, I was an international speaker. I was talking about drugs and alcohol and trauma. And in a very, very specific small groups, I talked about prostitution, but I didn't talk about it publicly. Mm-hmm. So today, my first goal as a speaker, my message is not just, a regular one. My message is kind of sensitive. It's kind of personal. A lot of the time, if not 99% of the time, those women don't want to show their faces. They don't want to expose themselves. So what I'm trying to do now is, and I will talk about it later on in the interview, about the ways that I'm trying to reach to those women and how I'm trying to get them to a safe ground that they can actually get all the information without sharing their names, their face, and nothing. So they will feel comfortable just to say, I need this information, and I will get her that information. And I convert I want out to some other name, and took the word prostitution out and tried to make something more spiritual and more generic. But it was not it, because I felt that I was not talking about, I was not 100% talking about the problem. I was just walking around it. And then, that was the journey of getting to a place of saying, yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is who I am. It's part of my past. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of my past anymore.
And you're not defined by your past. And so I believe there's a lot of strength in digging into that past and using it to help others and to help your own self-growth journey, because of how sensitive the topic is and the stigma around it as well. So at that point, when you started I Want Out, And what was the thing that pushed you to seek help or to take these courses and to really want to have that change? Because a lot of the time, when we do feel like we want to do something different with our lives, but we're bogged down by everything else we have going on, like there's always something that really pushes us to do the thing. So I'm wondering what thing pushed you? Like, what was your ultimate motivation?
That's a very good question. That inner search to get to inner freedom, that was my motivation,
Mm-hmm.
because it was not enough for me. It was not enough. I needed some meaning. I needed to do something that is meaningful, and not necessarily something big. It's just something that I feel that I'm actually doing from the bottom of my soul and heart, something that I can get excited and talk freely and being comfortable, because I know what those women are going through.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm talking about something that is so meaningful, and sometimes it's life or death. I know it was for me many times. So for me, it gave me that, okay, that's not just another idea that I have, because I had many ideas, through the years, and I'm good at many things, but it was not that. I felt that it didn't fulfill me like I wanted to be fulfilled.
Right. Mm-hmm. Just feeling empty inside and really seeking that freedom, just because you had this past of prostitution and drugs, alcohol. And do you feel that you never really healed from it, even though it was like 10 years ago?
Yeah, definitely yes. In a lot of ways, yes, it's definitely something that I learned to live with. Like it's not something that goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can give you an example so you can actually understand what I really mean, is that sometimes evil smells get me triggered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really going anywhere, but I learned how to live beside it. One of the things that I'm still working on is staying connected to the truth of who I am. This is something that I work every day, every day, every day. I connect to myself again and again, because it's very easy for me as a stripper. I used to, for many years, I was wearing this figure, this woman, that I wanted to present. It was like a character.
Mm-hmm.
So this character was so, it was me in a way. It was me. I felt that this is the real me, because I was 10 years wearing the same thing, the heels, the makeup, the language, the movement, the everything. So in a way, I think one of the biggest challenges that I'm having till today is to stay connected to me, because it's automatics a lot of the time, when you're changing who you are, when you're changing, and it's very drastic change. Let go of so many, I had to let go of everything and find myself again.
Yeah, it sounds like continuously being honest with yourself and who you are and remembering who you are. I'm curious about, how do you tackle staying connected? Like, what are your methods, or what do you do? How do you stay connected with your true self?
I lived through, I don't know if you heard about the 12 steps program. So this is a spiritual program,
Okay.
who connects you to your true self.
Mm-hmm.
that actually, it's a lifetime. It's not something that I do and then I put it aside. It's something that I do all the time. So this is something that I live my life through, the 12 steps program.
Okay. How did you get into it?
Through addiction. When I started my journey and I exit prostitution, I found that one of the many things that I had to let go of is the drugs and the alcohol. And I didn't know how to do it because that was a very main thing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very, this is what I woke up to and this is how I went to bed. So learning to live my life without it brought me to the 12 steps.
If you're comfortable with me asking how you got into the industry and how long you were in it for?
So I was there, I started when I was 17 and I was there for almost 11 years. So I went out, I exited in 2011.
Mm-hmm. And so did this start when you were in Israel before?
It started, I was in Japan.
Okay.
At that time. I didn't plan to get out. I was in Japan in 2011. It was March 2011. And I was there. And about 48 hours after I landed in Tokyo, it was a huge earthquake, the fourth largest earthquake in the history of the world.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember, but it was in Fukushima with all the radiation, and I was there. So it was very symbolic to me because I felt like my world is shaking beneath my feet.
Right, literally.
Literally.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And it didn't stop, it didn't stop me at that moment. I was determined to keep working. I was working there as a stripper. And at least I tried. I didn't, it was not successful at the end. My body couldn't dance anymore. I was very broken spiritually. And I tried everything. And I got to a rock bottom after 2 weeks from the earthquake. 2 weeks after, I got to my rock bottom. And I got to a point when I just didn't know what to do anymore. I couldn't go on. I couldn't dance, which means I couldn't make money, which means I couldn't stay in Japan, which means I had to go back to Israel, which means one of the biggest things that I felt is shame. Not shame of being a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
I was ashamed to go back because I didn't succeed to do what I wanted to do. My ego was so big that I was willing to do anything to do it my way. But my body, my mind, my soul, they forced me to stop. So I stopped.
Wow.
And that's how I started my recovery journey. Till today.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a very strong story in how you had to stop. I don't know if you were at a place mentally that either you wanted to, but it's more so like your body just said we're done, like you had to stop. Mm-hmm.
Like this is what I was good at. I used to make a lot of money. People really knew me. I was kind of a known persona, and people look up to me. I was I was that queen of the club, you know. I got everything that I wanted. I didn't have to, ask from no one, nothing. I didn't even pay for drugs. I didn't pay for alcohol. I had this life that I thought, oh my God, if I'm not this, who am I?
So this is what really shaped your identity at the time, because that was all you knew.
Exactly. That was who I am, who I was. That's how I felt. I felt that I am Moran. I'm a stripper. I'm a prostitute. I have, it always sounds funny to me when I'm saying that I was that unreachable star, which is so silly to say because people actually paid to get me.
Right.
So unreachable, it's like the denial. The denial was so big. I couldn't see something else. It was not even an option. And that's why it's so important to say this is a very important point. That's why, a lot of the time people think that maybe not for prostitution, let's say strippers, that they choose this, that they want this, that they can get out whatever, they make a lot of money, that nobody touched them. And I want that you and your audience will understand something very, very important. I didn't have a choice. I went in to this industry and I couldn't get out. I didn't want to be in. I didn't want to. I didn't feel that I had a choice. And if you don't have a choice, it's not really your choice, right? Because you don't have a choice. And that's how I felt. I felt that I don't have a choice. I have to do it. And that's something that a lot of people cannot really understand, that they think that those women choose to do it. They don't choose to do it. They don't want to do it. Like everything from the outside might look like they want to do it. I know in my case, that was my job and I was very good at my job. So from the outside, nobody can know what's going on.
It's a persona that you put on to show that you want, like this is what you want, but deep down inside.
Oh, definitely. I was in control. I was I was the boss. I made my own money. And the fantasy that I sold was perfect, flawless.
Right. I wanted to dig a little deeper into the topic of identity and looking at who you were before getting into the industry. If
that's very, very super important because that was like a path to the industry. Kind of like it was also something that wasn't really my choice. Life brought me there. So I come from a very complicated family situation. So my parents divorced when I was 6 months old. So I grew with my mom, and my brother grew with my dad. We were separated. And then my mom met another guy. She got married, and they raised me together till I was 14. That house, that home, and I'm not talking about my dad, my mom. My mom is amazing, but this environment was a scary one, unpredictable one. violent one, obsessive one. They were protecting me. Like I didn't know what's the world exists. I went in that kind of a bubble, you know. I come from a small country, from a small city in Israel, and at the age of 14, I escaped. I ran away from home because I felt that I'm trapped, and my soul wanted freedom. So I escaped. I ran away. I escaped from home, and that was the first time I experienced freedom. I discovered who I am, and I was the daughter of God. I was love. I was acceptance. I experienced something that it was very, very spiritual, and it's very hard to describe in words. Physically, I was in Eilat. This is the south of Israel. Very beautiful bay. And I was sleeping at the beach because I didn't have money. I was 14 years old. And for a few days, I was just the guest of nature, guest of the sea, the guest of the people who come and go. I was me. I wasn't scared. I was one with life. And then because I experienced such a powerful spiritual experience, I changed. I was not that little girl anymore. At the age of 14, I discovered the world. And I wanted more. And when eventually, after a few days, they brought me back home, of course. And then I decided that I'm not going to stay home, and I went to a boarding school. And a very important thing that I will mention is that I was sexually abused for many years in this family, from someone from the family. And again, till I was 14. So 2 years later, I was in Tel Aviv with my mom. She got divorced. And I started drinking and smoking and going out and discovering the nightlife. And at the age of 17, I knew that I need to experience love at all times. I got addicted to it. I needed people to show me physically, emotionally, that I'm worthy, that I'm loved.
Right.
And of course, I needed money. That's how it started for me.
So ever since you were younger, you've always been seeking that freedom. And even more so as you got older, it turned into seeking the love and affection, like a distorted way. Not real love, but that's how it was expressed.
Yeah, definitely. So I was willing to do anything to get, because listen, I was abandoned as a girl. My father didn't want me. The father that came after, I was afraid of him. He was very obsessive, very unpredictable. My body wasn't mine anymore because I was sexually abused for so many years. So for me, being a stripper or being a prostitute, it was not unfamiliar territory. my body was used to being touched. So like I didn't felt that it was a big of a deal at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So being a stripper just makes sense. And then being a prostitute just makes sense. Because my body is not really mine anymore. Like why I won't use it and get money and get, the love of the affection and to get that, I missed that a word. Like when you get that confirmation from society that yes, you are beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Right. It
That
validates.
was something,
Mm-hmm.
the validation, yes, right. Validation. That's the word that I was looking for. That validation that I matter.
All right. Do you find that most women that you've worked with who are also in the industry, who are trying to exit it, I don't know if you look into their background, but do you find that the story is similar throughout?
There are some stories that's similar to mine, but not all of them. We all have our own journey. Mm-hmm. And but the pattern is kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of the time, a stripper and a prostitute will come from a broken family.
Right.
A stripper and a prostitute will come from sexual abuse background. Most of the time, it will come with addiction, tendencies. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, it will come from daddy issues.
Right.
Most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time.
Well, let's talk more about the I Want Out project and how you reach women and what the work is and what the process is with I Want Out.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so first of all, it's really important for me to say that I'm very available in social media. You can find me, of course, through Instagram and Facebook and YouTube I'm going to be available on YouTube soon. I opened a channel, I Want Out channel, and my plan is to upload some, information for, just for the beginning of understanding this process of exiting, and not too much heavy, keep it very informative and just basic guidelines or guides and tools and tricks of how I did it and how can I help those women who don't want to contact and actually can see it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But that will be in the future. And I'm also hosting a room in Clubhouse. And Clubhouse, it's an amazing platform. Mm-hmm. And you can find me there. I'm speaking almost every week, unless I have, issues with my kids, if they're sick or something, and I cancel it. But yeah, every week I'm there and I'm talking. The room is open for an hour, sometimes hour and a half. And you can get, of course, the information over there too. I talk about what does it really mean, exiting prostitution, what was the hardest things that I have to overcome, what did I do, how is it really working, to exit, and how to prepare yourself, and all kinds of things that can benefit someone who wants to get out. Mm-hmm. So, except from that, I am writing my book, and I started a year ago, and I really hope that I put a deadline for myself, and I really hope to keep it, which means that my son's birthday, they're going to turn 4 at February. this, the February 2022. So I really hope to finish by then.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that'll be something that will hopefully will be on Amazon. So nobody should, come to a store and get that look from the from the
cashier.
when they pay,
Yeah.
So something that you can order in private, that you can keep your anonymity. And it's a very this book, I feel like sometimes I can go insane. This is so hard. I never thought it's going to be so hard because I'm a speaker. I thought it kind of take me less time, but yeah, I wanted it to be more, not like my story of my life. Nobody cares. There is millions of story like me. It's just more of like a guide. If you want out, take my book, get all the tools, all the information of what you need, how to prepare, what do you need to, the question you need to answer, the inventory you need to do, and yeah, and that is something that I'm very, very excited about. What else? Yeah, also now I'm building, almost finished. It all takes time,
For sure.
An online course that they can buy through Udemy, and actually see me in a video, me explaining through models, actually sharing a little bit of my own experience and going into a little bit deeper connection, and that is a way for me to also, contribute to the world by getting it out there for, I don't know, maybe 10 years from now or 20 years from now. I think it's something that prostitution is not going to go anywhere, unfortunately, not in 10 years, and also not strip clubs. So this is something that I wanted to be out there for someone who wants to just get it and start this journey and get some hope that it is possible from someone like me who did it.
Right. That is really amazing. Yeah. Amazing stuff. Clubhouse is a great source too. It's a great place to connect with people. And I love how you're protecting the identities of these women for them to not feel like that's really empowering confidence and knowing that your identity is protected to seek this hope. So.
Yes, definitely. Because I really believe that a huge part of the beginning of exiting is a huge denial. Like the soul knows, the heart knows, the body knows, but the mind is giving you a fight. It doesn't want to let go.
It's wonderful what you're doing, and I applaud you for it. It's a lot of work for sure, and so much power in you and strength. I can see it. Just like wanting to help these women and share your story. Yeah, it's really touching.
Thank you.
Of course.
I will say that share this so it will get to more people, so the message can go to more women. This is the smallest thing that people can do, is just click on the share and share this message and support. And supporting with a click, that's the easiest thing that you can do for such a big, important goal. And also, I invite, if I may, if you want to invite me to as a speaker to share my story, you're more than welcome to contact me. I'm sure that you will get, my information and how to contact me.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm very, very, very available to chat, even to chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
Do you have any final messages for the listeners?
The final message, I would just say that sometimes it seems impossible. I know it was impossible for me in many situations that I wanted out. But I just want to say that even though it looks impossible, I can assure you 100% that it is possible. That it is possible. To take that leap of faith in something that it's your future and your well-being is something that I can really, really understand how hard it is to do. But just one step of saying hi or saying, I want out and I don't know how, it begins that journey of just getting that information. I want to say also that you don't have to make a decision to get out. You can gather the information, see where you're at, get the bigger picture, get prepared. And when you're ready, you can do it. Nobody is forcing, there is no pressure at all. And it's all in your own pace, your rhythm.
That's wonderful. I'm really excited for you and for your work and seeing how everything will come together and play out. It's just so important.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for, I appreciate you for what you're doing. And it's so huge. Yeah. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure talking with you and getting to know more about you and what you do. And I really hope this reaches everywhere because of how important it is.
Me too. And you helped me a lot by inviting me. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this message.
Absolutely. Thank you for reaching out.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you in the next episode. All original music is produced by Stubborn Soul. Be sure to catch him on all music listening platforms. He does have new music out, so you do not want to miss it.